I woke up to the sound of humming, a melody I hadn't heard in 10 years. My eyes snapped open. I followed the sound down the hall, my heart pounding in my chest, and there she was. My mother, standing at the stove, just as I remembered her. She'd been gone for a decade. I fell to my knees, gasping, and she rushed to me, her touch real, her face etched with love. She's back. They're all back. She helped me up, her hands warm on my arms. The doorbell rang. She just nodded. Answer it, Alex. I opened the door, and my world broke again. It was Marcus, my best friend, who took his own life 5 years ago, grinning at me like no time had passed. Then, through the window, I saw her, Emma, my first love, killed in an accident, waving at me from the curb. My grandfather appeared at the top of the stairs, and on the couch, a woman my age, with my eyes, my twin sister, Sarah, the one who never took a breath. And then, an ethereal figure materialized, an AI. It showed me their data, their consciousness, reconstructed, and on the wall, a clock appeared. 24 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. 24 hours, one choice. Breakfast was a dream. The most beautiful, painful dream of my life. My mom made her pancakes. Marcus told a joke that made me cry with laughter for the first time in years. Emma's hand found mine across the table, and that old spark was still there. Grandpa told his wild stories. And Sarah, my sister, quietly watched us all, her eyes full of a wisdom I couldn't comprehend. She caught my gaze and signed, "I love you." I signed it back, my vision blurred with tears. But every few minutes, our eyes would drift to the clock on the wall, ticking down. This perfect moment was temporary. This family reunion had an expiration date, and I was the one who had to decide who would be left in an empty chair tomorrow. How do you choose between the pieces of your own heart? After breakfast, the real reason they came back began to unfold. My mother and I were washing dishes, and she turned to me, her eyes filled with a sadness that mirrored my own. "Sweetheart," she said, "I've been watching you. These past 10 years, the AI, it let me see the therapy sessions, the weekly visits to my grave. Alex, you stopped living when I died. I tried to pull away, but she held me close. I didn't come back so you'd keep me, honey. I need you to know," he said, his voice cracking. "I called you that day, you were busy. I left a message. You've been punishing yourself ever since, thinking you could have saved me. It wasn't your failure, brother, it was mine. The darkness lied to me. Don't let it lie to you." 2. On the porch swing, Emma took my hand. "You never let anyone else in, did you? You've put me on a pedestal, this perfect memory of a 22-year-old girl. But I wasn't perfect, Alex. We fought. You've been in love with a ghost." My grandfather sat me down in his study. "You're 35. You're breathing but you're not living. You're afraid to want things because everyone you loved left. Don't build a life out of fear, son." And finally, Sarah. In the room I'd kept as a shrine to her. "You kept this for someone who never existed," she signed, her eyes gentle but firm. "I am your excuse not to live. My twin died, so I don't deserve happiness. I never asked you to carry that." They all gathered around me in the living room, the clock now reading under 19 hours. It wasn't an accusation. It was an intervention of love. "We didn't come back so you'd choose one of us," my mother said, tears streaming down her face. "We came back so you would finally choose yourself." I collapsed, and they all knelt around me, their hands a comforting weight. Then the AI reappeared. Choosing Marcus, an unhealthy codependency. Choosing Emma, a romance built on nostalgia that would curdle into resentment. Choosing any of them meant choosing to live in the past. It meant wasting my life on a beautiful ghost. With only 2 hours left, I paced the room. The AI's words echoed in my head. In 10,000 simulations, 97% of people choose someone. They waste their remaining years with that ghost. I stopped, and the 3%, I asked, they choose no one. They say goodbye, and they finally start living. They looked at me, their faces full of love and hope. They knew the choice I had to make. My mother came to me, cupping my face. "Let me go with peace, baby. That's enough." Marcus put his hand on my shoulder. "Honor me by being happy." Emma kissed my forehead. "You need someone who can grow with you." My grandfather stood tall. "You have your time, don't waste it." And Sarah, my sister, lived the life I couldn't. "That's how you honor me." They pulled me into one final embrace. I pulled back, wiped my tears, and looked at each of them. My voice was steady. "No one." A wave of relief and pride washed over their faces. My mother smiled through her tears. "That's my boy." With only 5 minutes left, it was time. The goodbyes were the hardest and most beautiful moments of my life. I held my mom one last time as she whispered, "Make me proud, fall in love, have kids, name your daughter after me." Then, she dissolved into particles of light. "I love you, Mum." Marcus and I shared a final hug. "Find your purpose, brother," and he was gone. Emma kissed my cheek. "Promise me you'll love again." "I promise," and she faded like morning mist. My grandfather gave me a salute. I returned it. He vanished like an old photograph. Sarah held my hands. "Live for both of us." The warmth lingered for a moment after she was gone, and then I was alone. The clock hit 0. The room was empty. I was crying, but for the first time, I felt light. "How do you feel, Alex?" the AI asked. I wiped my tears. Sad but ready. Letting go is the deepest kind of love. The love that releases. In the weeks and months that followed, I started to heal. I packed up my mother's things, keeping only a sweater. I visited Marcus's grave, not with guilt, but with a smile. I went on a date and was actually present, not comparing her to a memory. I started a foundation in Sarah's name, helping families like mine. They'd be proud. A year later, I stood at their graves, the setting sun casting a golden glow. A woman, Rachel, waited for me by the car. "The future," I whispered to the headstones. "Thank you for letting me go." Loving someone isn't about holding on. It's about having the courage to let them go so that you both can be free.